Batter up.
Rob and Chris, they're on the air. Yankees, Mets, they're everywhere. From the Bronx to Queens, the diamond gleams. MLB talk, the ultimate team. NYM is the place to be. Rob and Chris with the pitch you'll see. Swinging stats and stories fly. Baseball talk that's amplified.
And welcome to a new episode of NYM LAD Talk with your hosts Rob and Chris as we cover the Mets, Yankees, and all of Major League Baseball. And if you're watching us on YouTube right now, hit that sub button. We would really appreciate it. And also, if you want to follow us on TikTok or on Twitter/X at NYMLB Talk, you can follow Rob at R Marasca. You can follow myself at CP7NY as well. So, Rob, we're still waiting on Bellinger. We're still waiting on Tucker. So what's going on here?
Yeah, you want to know something, Chris? I thought maybe things were going to start, getting heated up in the hot stove league, but we're still waiting. Probably, maybe by the weekend we'll know more about Kyle Tucker. What do you think?
You know what? They were saying we might hear about it today. That's what I've been reading on social media. Like, a lot of the baseball guys are saying we might hear about it today. So, and I think we will. And I think once that happens, then we'll get, the Bellinger thing rolling, because whoever doesn't sign Tucker is going to want Bellinger, right? So that's why Bellinger is just kind of, I think, sitting back, waiting for the Tucker thing to kind of resolve so that he could step in and say, okay, let's talk now, So
yeah, I agree with you. And we'll see what's going on with Tucker, because now they're saying that Steve Cohen's gotten involved, and I think it's really between the Mets and the Blue Jays because of the contracts. I think the Dodgers were just a little short, but if the Dodgers jump back in there with a more serious offer, you know what that means. So it's probably right now a two-team race between the Mets and the Blue Jays, but you never know.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the only thing what the Dodgers could do, if they don't want to match the Mets, with the money, or the Blue Jays with the years, they could throw out, hey, we're the two-time defending champs, right? So that's what they're going to throw at you. That, listen, we're going for our third straight World Series. We have Ohtani, we're set. We have Yamamoto, we got this great team for the next couple of seasons. So if you want to come here, you got a great chance of winning the World Series, right? So I think that's what they could kind of throw at a player more than the Mets, the Blue Jays, the Yankees. We could throw you 27 championships, but none since 2009. But
exactly. I just want to say hello to Maria, Anthony, Armand, and Dan. How are you doing out there? And Puppet Bill, is Puppet Bill out there? I thought I saw his name for a second. I guess not. What are we thinking about the Cubs? All right, we could switch to that real quick.
Yeah.
What the Cubs made a couple of good moves, right, Chris?
Absolutely. Listen, you sign a guy like Bregman on to your team, that automatically lifts that team up just a little bit, right? Just because of his experience, World Series. He's picked number 3 because he's going for his 3rd World Series title. I love that move. I love that move for the Cubs, without a doubt. I mean, and now they could play possibly in trading, that they were thinking about trading Nico Horner, and the Yankees were involved in that. So yeah, this kind of opens up the door for them to make other moves. So I don't think they're done yet either.
No, they're not. And they got a decent pitcher from the Marlins too, Chris.
Yeah. And listen, Cabrera, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be fine, right? He's going to be a really good pitcher.
Yeah.
And you know what? Imanaga is still a free agent, right? So you never know. They could bring him back, at some point. So I think, listen, the Cubs are right now the favorite to win that division. I know the Brewers have been playing great lately, but I think you got to put the Cubs as the early favorite to win that division, and easily one of the best teams in the National League right now.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Chris, another reason you like the Cubs with Bregman is because it gets them off of the Red Sox.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and he's not on the Astros, the Red Sox, so he's out of the American League. So I have no problem. If we see him now, it'll be in the World Series. So that would be great. Yankees Cubs World Series with Bregman playing for the Cubs. I think that would make it very interesting over there. But love what the Cubs have done. I wish the Yankees were a little more busier, and I think they are getting busy. But yeah, definitely, Leland. We love what the Cubs have done so far.
Yeah, they listen. I love when clubs make moves. I like it better when mine makes the moves or yours makes the moves.
Yeah.
I like seeing the things get heated up in the hot stove. Definitely. Now, as far as the Mets, so let's get back to Tucker for a second. All right. 50 million, it comes out to 50 million for 4 years, right? With opt-outs and things. I really think right now it's between the Blue Jays with that 10 years. If they're going to give him 10 years, Chris, how could he turn down 10 years?
Yeah, that's a tough. I'd love to hear it, Armand. Let's hear it. This is for the Mets.
Go ahead,
I'm
Armand,
assuming.
before we continue.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's for the Mets, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, I think it is too. I think it's the Blue Jays or the Mets for sure. Listen, if he wants that guaranteed 10 years, probably $400 million, yeah. And if he's okay with living in Toronto, but listen, Toronto just went to the World Series, and we know how close they were to winning that World Series. They were 2 outs away. And, how many plays went the other way for the Dodgers to win that World Series? How many close plays, the ball getting stuck in the wall and all that. So I think, listen, the Blue Jays are a team to what, to obviously go to now. They're very attractive. So it makes sense. And do you want the 10 years, 400 million, or do you want to go with more money per year, but a lot less years with the Mets, right? 5 years. What is it? Oh no, 4 years, 50 million.
4 years.
So $200 million. That's pretty good. Now, here's the thing. He's going to turn 29 this weekend.
Right.
So if he does take the 4-year deal, that means he's going to be 33 when he becomes a free agent. Can he make up that $200 million that he's not going to get in the 10-year deal? I think that's the big thing. And he's got to look at both teams. Do I have a good chance of getting to the World Series? If that's part of his discussion, looking at the Mets and looking at the Blue Jays.
And he has other factors too. Signing that 10-year contract, you're set. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about injuries, right? If you get injured, you don't have to worry about that. But then again, how many opt-outs are you going to have? And, do you want to stay in Toronto for 10 years? But check out what Armand is he's thinking out of the box. So what do you think about that?
It's not bad. I don't know. To be honest, Real Muto, the last couple of years, he's kind of regressed a little bit offensively.
True.
And he's getting up there in age. This guy's not a young guy. I think he's like 35, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that's really a great move. Are you really making, your team better by, I know they're at a stalemate. Absolutely. Because he's asking, I think, for $15-16 million. And is he worth that much? I don't know. He's 34 right now, Real Muto. So he's going to be 35 in June. He turns 35.
Okay.
So
listen, that Armand's thinking out of the box, which is not bad, of course. But I don't know. I don't know about that with Real Muto, because I was down on him when and I was happy about it. The 2024 in the playoffs against the Mets, right? They were horrible. They looked old. So he looked old then. And that was 2 years ago, basically, almost 2 years ago.
Last year he only hit 12 home runs.
Yeah.
52 RBIs. He only batted 257, slugged 384. So yeah, he was playing catcher every day, and he would. Yeah, listen. I like him better. I'll be honest. I brought it up a while back as possibly for the Yankees to be their backup catcher and also backup first baseman.
Right.
You know,
Yes, I remember
he's
that.
a right-handed bat is something that they're looking for, but I think he's asking for a lot of money. I think that's the biggest problem. Listen, if you could get him cheap, then yeah, I don't see that as a problem. Then you could, then you could platoon him and Polanco at first base, and you could use Vientos as your everyday DH. I think he should be your everyday DH, Vientos. I don't think you should mess around with him at all.
Yeah, and you think that Vientos is going to come back and have a great year?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he will. I think he'll have a good year. You even said you wouldn't mind if the Yankees made a trade with the Mets for Vientos. Didn't you say that to me?
Yeah, the only thing is I don't know where they could play him because, we got Stanton as the DH and third base. You got McMahon, and he's not a great third baseman anyway. Vientos. So I don't know if that's really a good idea. So, but yeah, I think Vientos definitely is going to bounce back this year. I definitely think he was hurt last year, and that kind of messed him up. So I think he's going to bounce back. I'm not saying I'm not going against what you're saying about signing Real Muto. I don't know if that's the right way to go, especially at first base. I think they need something better at first base than Polanco. I don't know if you could trust Polanco as the everyday first baseman when he's never played it. I know he worked. Listen, I know everybody's getting excited because he played a lot practicing last year with Seattle. Yeah. But remember, Polanco is not a good defensive player to begin with. Okay, that's the reason why he's been DHing the last year or so, because he's not a good defender. So now you're telling him to play first base, which, okay, maybe he'll become a good first baseman, but I don't know. You're asking a lot. If he's asking for 3 years at $15 million, could always give him an opt-out. Yeah, but I don't think he'll want to opt out at 30. Remember, he's going to be 34 in June. He's looking at one more contract, I think. A 3-year deal, that would be great, and he'll be happy to take it. But at $15 million a year, I don't know if he's a $15 million a year player right now.
I don't think he is, and something tells me that Philadelphia will probably come to an agreement with him, and he'll probably just end up being back with Philadelphia. That's what I think. Listen, but you never know.
Still think about this: like Real Muto is still out there as a free agent. Right. If somebody was willing to pay him $15 million, I think he would have got signed already, because the Phillies obviously are not willing to go that high. So if a team that's had him now for the last 7 years doesn't want to sign him, that kind of maybe they see that regression is real, and they know he's on that downward spiral. Like, he's just not going to get any better, right?
Yeah, well, of course they definitely know. All right, let's get to the Yankees' big move so far this offseason.
Yeah, they traded for what's his name?
Weathers.
Ryan Weathers. I was going to say Meadows. Ryan Weathers, left-handed pitcher for the Marlins, young kid. A lot of people had him as a breakout candidate this year. Obviously had some injury issues the last couple of years. Supposedly he's in a lot better shape coming into this season. So listen, I look at it this way. Getting him, I know they gave up 4 minor leaguers, but they didn't give up any top guys. They didn't give up any top draft picks. You know what I mean? They gave up two guys. It was an undrafted free agent. The other 2 guys, they drafted, but they were lower. A lot of these guys were, they're good. They got speed. They got a glove, but maybe not great. So Rockies and Willie. Yeah, I like Willie Castro as a good utility guy. That's actually a good deal for the Rockies. He might become trade bait.
Yeah, he might eventually. But that's a good move for the Rockies and for Castro, I think so. Yeah, and his father played for the Yankees too, Chris. So there's another one, right?
Another father-son combination. I like the deal for the Yankees and I like it for the Marlins too. Like, instead of getting maybe 2 top guys, they got 4 minor leaguers to kind of take a chance with, and maybe one works out instead of getting 2 top guys and something like that, right? So I like it for both teams. With the Yankees, he could work out of the bullpen. He could also work as a starter early on for you. And also he's got options, right? He can be sent down to the minors. So if everybody's healthy and if someone's got to get sent down, he would be the guy, right?
Right.
So that gives him that option. But I think what it's more for is now they're going to be more inclined to trade maybe one of their young pitchers, because they're in serious talks now with Freddie Peralta of the Brewers, and the Brewers want young, controllable pitching, and the Yankees do have that. So they can make that move. The Mets could do that too, but I think they're in on Tucker and, waiting on that deal. But for the Yankees, I like the deal. Is it a big name that everybody's like, oh, great, we got this guy finally? No, it's not a big name, but I think it's a name that it's going to work out. I think he's got 3 years of control. He's making, just over the minimum right now. I think he's making a little over $1 million. So that's worth a lot in these days.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good move for the Yankees. At least they're starting to do something. I mean,
Right.
Spring training is going to be here before you know it. I just can't believe how fast it's going.
It's less than a month away now, right?
Yeah, pitchers and catchers. I can't
crazy.
believe it. And there's still guys out there. These guys got to get signed. And we're going to come to Bellinger now. I think, like you said before, I think Bellinger, I think he's just sitting around waiting to see what happens with Tucker. And if Tucker signs with the Mets, or, if Tucker signs with the Mets, then, I don't think the Mets are going to sign Tucker and Bellinger, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's one or the other.
It's one or the other. I think if Tucker signs with the Blue Jays, then the Mets probably go after Bellinger really hard, and they're going to outbid. Steve Cohen's going to outbid the Yankees, because right now Steve Cohen getting involved with Tucker, I think the fans moaning and groaning are getting a little to him. I think it's getting to him a little, Chris.
That's possible. Because I'm sure he wants to see things happen, even though the Mets have spent money. It's not like they've done nothing this offseason. They just haven't signed the guys that, the Mets fans wanted, right? Whether it was Alonso, Diaz, and trading Nimmo away, and bringing in, Polanco to play first base. It's like, you were standing there like, why didn't we just sign Alonso? Why are we, but yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. If Tucker goes to Toronto, then Bellinger could sit there and say, okay, I'm your best option now. Now there's no other option for you to sign, and I'm your best option. He wants the 7 years. Obviously, the Yankees are the only team to come the closest to that at 5 years. So would the big question is going to be is, will the Mets go a 6th year or a 7th year for Bellinger? That's going to be the big question.
See, when you get to that, though, then you have to go back to Alonso and say to yourself, they didn't want to give Alonso 7 years, right? Yep. But they're going to give Bellinger, to me, it makes no sense whatsoever. No. It makes no sense. So we're just going to have to see what happens. But remember, there's probably going to be a work stoppage after this season. But just say there isn't going to be a work stoppage. Next year's, after the season, free agent class isn't that good. So there's not too many superstars out there as free agents after 2026. So right now, Tucker and Bellinger are probably going to be the best you're going to see for a while. Yeah.
No, I agree. And that's why, Toronto is saying, hey, listen, we'll give him the 10 years, right? He's going to be 29. All right, we'll take him for 10 years. And I think the Mets too, like on the other side, like they don't want to go that much with him, because right now, like the last year or two, Tucker has taken a step back defensively, right? So if he's taking a step back defensively, where are you going to put this guy? And you got Soto already being, the worst outfielder in baseball. And now you turn to Tucker, who's starting to decline defensively. He's not going to get better. So, and he's a right fielder. So now you're going to in turn put him in left, or you're going to put Soto in left. One of these guys has to play left field, right?
It's not going to be Soto.
Right. It's probably going to be Tucker. So, and that goes against everything that they were talking about earlier in the offseason.
Right.
Oh, we want to get better defensively. We want to get rid of Nimmo. Guess what? Tucker had a lower outs against average in right field than Nimmo had in left field.
Yeah, I agree.
Figure that one out.
It doesn't, some of this stuff doesn't make any sense, but in the long run, David Stearns is trying to build a team that makes it to the postseason every year, like he did with Milwaukee. So that's what his reasoning
and that's
is.
Good. That's the goal to have, right? I
Right.
have no problem with that.
I don't either. But we have to see what it's going to look like. But New York's different than Milwaukee, of course. We're like, now we want it now. We don't want to rebuild again. We don't want to wait. It's not Milwaukee. It's not a small market. And that's why all the Met fans out there, they're complaining and they're crying. And you know what? I love Pete Alonso. You know it. I was bummed that the Mets did not sign Alonso. But you know what, guys? You got to let it go. He's a Baltimore Oriole. That's it. It's over.
Yep.
Let's move on.
And done.
Yeah, it's done. And listen, it's not like he's crying, about the Mets not making an offer to him. He's embraced it. He's embraced Baltimore. He's the face of the Baltimore Orioles already, and he hasn't even played one game with them yet, Chris.
Yep. Listen, the top guys next year in free agency, Armand said, the hitting is going to be thin. The top guys, Ozzie Albies from Atlanta, Luis Robert from the White Sox, Jazz Chisholm from the Yankees, Randy Arozarena, Alec Boehm from the Phillies, Brandon Lau from the Rays, Dalton Varsho. That's the names. Max Muncy from the Dodgers. So that's what you're getting. Gleyber Torres, Taylor Ward. That's what you're getting. You're not getting superstars like you got a shot here with Tucker that some still think he's a superstar. I don't know if he's worth $50 million a year, even for only 4 years, but this is what you got, right? Unless you're gonna start, thinking way outside the box, like Armand did earlier, and start thinking trades or all right, let's bring in Real Muto, and I don't know. That's the problem right now.
Maria, Pete's not coming back.
No.
At
least not for 5. He signed for 5 years, right? With the Orioles?
Yeah, he's not coming back for
at least 5 years. Maybe he'll come back at the very end of his career. Never know. Hey, maybe they'll trade for him during the season.
Yeah, okay. But I've listened. She's not the only one who said that. I'm telling you, you looking out there on X and other some of the things people say. It's like they don't get it. He's gone. That's it. He's gone. I don't
get why he went, but he's gone. Right. That part I get. I don't get the why, because it makes no sense when you bring in a first baseman who's never played first base and you want to improve defensively, but let's bring in a guy who's never played the position.
Listen, Alonso, Baltimore showed that they wanted Alonso, right? 5 years. What did they give him? $155 million, right? $155 million. That's it. Every billboard in Baltimore now has Alonso on it in an Orioles uniform.
Right.
So that's it. We have to move on. It's like the last year with the Yankee fans with Soto. Chris was over it so fast that, once the World Series was over and Soto turned his cap backwards, Chris, I think you were over it, right?
Kind of, because I knew, listen, he wasn't saying, oh, yeah, I would love to come back to the Yankees, but I'll go to whoever gives me the most money, right? The best deal. And that's fine. Listen, that's totally fine. Any one of us would do the same thing. For us to say, I would never do that. Yeah. Come on. We would do that in a heartbeat. I know it's a lot of money, but it's also a lot of money that you're giving away too. So yeah, I think we'd all do that, unless it's a team that, is a basement team. It's horrible and never going to win. Yeah, maybe you don't want to go there, but how can you say no to the Mets with that kind of money, with that kind of deal that they offered?
Yeah, like a basement team's not going to offer you over 700 million.
Right.
And
Yeah. But I just, you know what I'm saying?
let
Like, just,
and
it is what it is.
listen, it's about the money, and also it's about the prestige. Where you could say, I signed the biggest contract in the history of Major League Baseball, right? So
Yep.
it's also that for a
Exactly.
player.
And just going by the, the free agents that are available, that's probably not going to be broken anytime soon, right? No
No,
one's going to be making 50 million. I know Scooble, he's coming up next, but I don't think he's going to get signed to a 14-year, $50 million contract, like $50 million a year, like Soto did. He might get
not
10
as a
years
pitcher.
at the
No,
most, but
yeah. And that goes back to what we were saying about the Mets possibly trading for him. The Mets have the pieces. We know the Mets have major league ready pitchers, batters, fielders, that they could trade. But I don't want to give these people up if it's just going to be a rental, for him, for Scooble. If you trade for him, you're going to have to, and we've talked about this a bunch of times, you're going to have to try to make a deal during the season before he becomes a free agent, right?
Yep.
Especially with the lockout coming, or the work stoppage, whatever we want to call it, with that coming up, he might say, you know what, I better sign a contract now.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I think that's the thing. Like, a team doesn't want to give up all those prospects and then not to be able to sign them. Right.
Right.
And that might be the problem too. Like, would you be willing to give up, 2 or 3, 4 top whatever it's going to take, and then not be able to sign them? Like, basically what the Yankees with Soto, and they couldn't sign him all year. I think they tried to, but I'm sure the numbers was just so high that they figured, you know what, let's wait and maybe we'll be betting against ourselves. But yeah, I think, to be honest, I think that's a big issue. Do you want to give up that many guys? And, we had Mickey Callaway months ago, right? We talked to him. I think it was in October. We asked him. And
yeah,
he
was during the World Series.
I'd trade everybody for him, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think he's right. If you're at that moment in, with your team, and you think, hey, listen, if we add Scooble, that puts us over the top.
Yes.
We could compete for a World Series. Yeah, you make that trade, just like the
Yeah.
Yankees did with Soto. They felt
Right.
like, hey, if we could get Soto even for 1 year, we might be able to get to a World Series, or we got a good chance of getting to the World Series. Thankfully, that's what happened. If it didn't, yeah, it wouldn't have looked so good only having him for 1 year and not make the World Series. But at least they made the World Series with him. So that's my thoughts about it.
Yeah. Okay. We have another question. What percentage do you think the Peralta trade will happen within days, next week? That's a good question.
I think if it's going to happen soon, like within the next week or two, because we're just talking about it. Spring training starts, right, in less than a month. Guys, like, players want to know where they're going, where they're going to live. Really made Alonso go. Yeah, that's
Dan. Yeah, hey, listen, Dan, you got a good point, because the whole ball clubs, it just changed. They said there were problems in the clubhouse, right? So who knows exactly what went on? I mean, the clubhouse was great in 2024, and then in 2025, not so good. But yeah, let's get back to the Peralta thing for a second. Yeah, I think that, pitchers and catchers are going to report soon, so they want to know where they're going, right? They hate signing during spring training, the first, second, third week, because then they're already behind with their team. So I think
they want to know where they're going to live, like if they have a family, if they have kids, they want to know where their kids are going to school, all that stuff. So they want to know as soon as they possibly can. With all these free agents, I'm sure Peralta, if he's got a family, if he's, I'm sure he wants to know, hey, if I'm getting traded, let's get this done. Let's make this happen, and this way I know where I'm going to go. So, and I think that, listen, the Brewers are doing the right thing. They know they got a hot commodity right now. They got a young pitcher. He's only got this year, so he's going to be a free agent in a year. But he's young and he's very good, obviously. So they know what they got in him. So they're going to sit back and wait. Like, okay. Because think about it, there's still a bunch of free agent starters that are out there that a team can just sign, right? They might have to give up a draft pick, because they got the qualifying offer connected to it. But you know what? I could just sign Framber Valdez if the Mets want him, or if the Yankees want him, they could just sign that guy and not have to worry about giving up 2 or 3 of their good prospects for this kid. So
Armand, you're correct. That's right. Burns was traded on the 1st, in 2024. So maybe it happens, after the 1st, it could happen, but before spring training. We'll just have to see what happens. And it'll be here. We can't wait. We're starting to itch for baseball. The weather was a little decent this week in New York. It felt good, but it's going to change very, very fast. It's going to start freezing again. So, we can't wait till that gets here. But we also have something else to look forward to. A couple of things. The World Baseball Classic, right? Yeah. WBC. I'm looking forward to it this year. How about you, Chris?
Oh, 100%. I love the World Baseball Classic. I know a lot of people, kind of like, it's no big deal. But listen, when you get these big name players going into it, it means something, right, to these players. Like all these top players would not be doing it if it meant nothing to them, right? So it obviously means something. We see it every year when they have it, how much it means to these players to win it, or when they lose it, obviously. But I'm really excited. The Team USA has a great team. Top to bottom, lineup, pitching, they got it all. But the other teams are going to be. There's a few, right? Team Japan obviously is going to come in as the favorites. Since they won it the last time and they beat Team USA. But any baseball fan should be watching it because it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is a lot of fun. And I really got into it last time, although it did hurt. We know that it hurt the Mets when Diaz,
right? That was just a freak thing. That
was a freak thing. It didn't even happen while they were playing. It happened when they were celebrating, which makes it even worse. But look at the pitching staff for Team USA, right? We have Clay Holmes, Griffin Jacks from the Rays. Now Clayton Kershaw is going to pitch. Nolan McLean, and who I do not want to see the Mets deal away. Joe Ryan from the Twins, Skeens, of course, Skubal, Spare, and Webb from the Giants. Look, that pitching staff is great.
Exactly. I'm that's why I'm excited, man. The Mets. Team USA is going to be in it this year, without a doubt. They're going to be in it right to the end. Hopefully they're going to get over the hump and actually win it this year. They have won it once. That's a team that's built to win it. Simple as that.
Dan has a question for you, Chris.
Who have the Yankees have to catch since Ben is going to first? Well, you still got Austin Wells, right? He's going to be the starting catcher. And we still have JC Escara, who caught last year. I know they want a backup right-handed hitting catcher instead of JC. I mean, JC is a solid backup without a doubt, but I think they want that backup right-handed bat so they could, when there's a tough lefty up there, they could bring in bring in the backup instead of having Wells catch, or have another lefty come in like JC as the backup. So, but I think Wells is solid, man. He's like, he's going to hit 20 something home runs. I think he drove in like 80 RBIs last year. Average was low. He did have some rough spots last season, but I think overall he's not bad. He's a good defending catcher. He could, he's got a decent arm. So I have no problem with Wells. I'd like a little bit better backup catcher if we can. And that's why, getting back to Armand with JT Real Muto, I would love for the Yankees to add him as like your backup catcher, backup first baseman, and he's a great guy to kind of tutor Austin Wells even more so, or any of the young catchers that the Yankees have, because we know how good JT is behind the plate.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So we're definitely looking forward to the World Baseball Classic. And also we have something else coming up very, very soon, the Hall of Fame voting, Chris.
Yep.
We spoke about this a lot, but I think this is the year that Carlos Beltran gets elected to the Hall of Fame.
Yes. And you know what? I think he's taken it on the chin for, I think, a little bit too much with the whole Astros
Yeah.
thing, right? The cheating scandal and all that. I think it's more on him um, getting the blame instead of the entire team. Listen, MLB dropped the ball on it. We know that. They should have did something more than just nothing. They basically did nothing, right? They should have took the title away from them, something, but they didn't. So this is how I think the writers are doing it. Not, this is Beltran's 4th year on the ballot. So, but I think hopefully he gets in this year because he definitely deserves it as a player, without a doubt. So,
Yeah,
and you remember he was going to be the manager of the Mets,
that's
right?
right. Yeah.
So, and he's got no manager possibility since then, right? So,
Right. Well, you know what, Chris? Yeah, and looking at, I've seen a lot of the writers are now they put their ballots on social media, right? You never had that before, but now
right.
who a lot of these writers are voting for, and it looks like Beltran is definitely going to make it. From everyone I've seen posting something has Beltran, so
Yeah.
I think it's him. I don't know about Andrew Jones. What do you think about
Yeah,
Andrew
he's going to
Jones?
be close, and I think he's on his 9th year on the ballot, so he's only got one more year after this to try. So he's in right now, according to some of the votes, but it's probably going to get really close to see if he gets in. Listen, we have a special guest coming on. His name is Julian. Covers all of Major League Baseball. He was at the Wyndham meetings this year. He's a freelance reporter. Let's bring him on.
Go ahead,
And
Chris.
I want to hear what he has to say about the Yankees trade, because he knows a little bit more, obviously, about the younger players. So, Julian, welcome, man.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Sorry about the camera. I'm on the move, but
Nope, no problem, man.
yeah, no, I mean, it's been a slow off season for the Yankees. The Ryan Weathers trade's an interesting one. It's just some good depth pieces, I guess. I mean, you probably feel a little better about him starting in Yarbo, and then the whole Bellinger saga still takes a lot of time, but hasn't been a great one for them in terms of other teams getting better around them too.
I hear that. So, what were your thoughts on the trade that they got? With Ryan. What were your thoughts on him?
I think he's a good upside swing, but like he hasn't been healthy too much, so you're gonna have to hope he stays healthy. But they don't need that many innings out of him. Also, they can make him a bullpen arm, I guess, if they have a full rotation.
Okay.
Julian, at the winter meetings, how did you feel about the Mets not signing Alonso? And Diaz obviously wanted to go to the Dodgers, but what are your thoughts, real quick, for our Met fans out there, about what happened with the Mets so far this offseason?
It's been not a great all season for them either, really, in terms of that. They've gotten some guys to replace them a little bit with Polanco and Holmes and obviously Williams, but um, it's definitely tough for him to lose fan favorites like that. And they haven't fully replaced him yet. We'll see if Kyle Tucker comes in somehow to replace Alonso's production. I think that would be a great replacement, obviously. And then they're still looking for some help in the starting rotation too. But Ranger Suarez is on the Red Sox. He was definitely targeted there, so you wonder if they'll take a look at Valdez or will they finally trade for an arm?
Julian, what do you think of with the whole Bellinger situation? Let's say if Tucker does sign that big contract with Toronto, because Toronto looks like they're offering him the longer contract.
Yeah.
Do you think the Mets go a little bit harder for Bellinger, or what do you think that ends up?
I think the just probably going back to the Yankees either way. But I mean, if Tucker goes to the Blue Jays, it probably would make the Mets tilt a little bit more towards Cody. I just think they have more interest in Tucker, it appears, the Mets. So I feel like the Mets could have had Bellinger by now if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Do you think with the Mets? Do you think with if they don't get Kyle Tucker, if they don't sign him, where do you think they go after that? Like, what's their plan B if they don't sign Tucker?
It could be like Austin Hayes and like trying to trade with some people maybe. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna take a look run of Bellinger too. I just think him and the Yankees are making the most sense and they're probably the closest financially. So, and then like the Mets will look to trade for some pitchers too. I think maybe they'll look at like someone like a Steven Kwan in the trade market for like a left fielder because they probably need an outfielder. I don't know if there's any first baseman they could trade for because there's not many free agents left to sign. So that's another thing they're gonna have to look at too, maybe.
Yeah. Do you see Julian? Do you see the Tigers possibly trading Scooble?
Probably not at this point because I don't think they're gonna get the right offers for him. I think like teams have probably tried to do it, but like no one's come close to meeting the price yet. Really touch.
Yeah, and we have Chris. We have a comment here.
Judge and Stanton as right-handed hitters. Volpe isn't much of a factor. The Jays have Ladd, Okamoto, Kirk, and Springer as their right-handed batters. Get Bo. Yeah. What do you think of if they don't get Bellinger? What do you think the Yankees' plan B is if they don't get Bellinger? Oh, there you are.
There he is.
I think if it was smart, it would be to get the Shed, but I don't really know what if they're actually going to do that. Unfortunately, I think if you look at a few different things, you could say try to trade for Brendan Donovan or something, but they don't appear to be at the front of those talks anymore. They could go for Freddie Peralta either way, I think. I mean, Weathers is like I said, he's a dead piece. So if it stops a bigger move, really. I mean, it's a nice low risk, high reward type of thing because like you gave up some decent prospects for him, but nothing that's gonna like hurt you too much in the future, really. So I think that it was a decent swing trade, but we'll have to see how it all comes together. I think the Yankees need should love the chat more personally, but that's all good they will.
Good. All right, Julian. You know what? I've been following you a lot on Twitter /X, whatever people want to call it, for a long time. Your content is amazing. Not just Yankee fans, but all baseball fans should be following you without a doubt. But give us a little quick story about how your journey in covering baseball. How has it gone?
Okay, sure. It's been a good journey. I would say it's been like a little other cities too, not just New York. Like you talked about like some spring training, some winter meetings, little playoffs last year. So like it's been good for sure. I would say some fun parts is definitely going to new stadiums to see what it looks like, trying to get all 30 of them. And there's been some a lot of games in them for a little few days and like towards the end of the year and stuff. And so it's been fun.
All right, cool, man.
Yeah, you have a lot of followers out there. And like Chris said, we've been following you for a while. We were talking about the Hall of Fame a couple of minutes ago, right before you came on. Do you think Carlos Beltran gets in this class?
Yeah, I think he probably should too. I actually didn't do my ballot yet, but like I thought about what I was put on it. I haven't like done my ballot yet, so I probably should do that soon. But Carlos Beltran, yeah, I mean I could really say it right now. Beltran, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, check that out, Chris.
Mets and Trey are in agreement on 2-year minor league deal. Okay, that's a good step move for them. Not bad, but what about Andrew Jones? I know a lot of people, not a lot of people, but some people don't remember. Like he had a domestic abuse charge against him a few years ago, and off the field issues is what kept Omar Vizquel off, right? Kind of knocked him off the ballot. But Jones looks like he's going to get in now. Like, what do you think changed?
Nothing really, just the timing, I think, unfortunately, because like they're always gonna put him in towards the end. I felt like they're just punishing him from the beginning, which is kind of a little messed up, but like how they do it like that. But I don't know if he'll get this bout, probably, but 100% get the next one, difference with this one.
Yeah, I think he's got one more year left. Andrew Jones on the ballot. I think this is his 9th year. So I think he's got one more year left, but we'll see. But yeah, he should be in. Listen, 10-time Gold Glove in center field. Yeah, I know the back half of his career wasn't great, but the first half was just easily Hall of Fame worthy. I mean, it's right.
Yeah, I think it's also because like it's really a thin ballot, so I think he will end up sneaking on. I think it'll be him and Beltran most likely.
How many years have you been voting so far?
Oh
For
no,
the
I don't
Hall
remember
of
that.
Fame?
I don't actually do real votes.
Oh.
No, I thought you were. Okay.
Maybe ones I love to see.
So tell us. So where could people contact you, watch you besides X? That's where we saw you. Tell us more about that.
Okay. If you go on my YouTube channel, you search Julian Gallardi, you find a lot of my stuff. World Baseball Network, Latino Sports. If you check my Instagrams, you'll see all that stuff too, like Twitter for those, and then yes, YouTube and TikTok.
All right, cool. So, all right, so give us your prediction. What do you think the Yankees do the rest of the way for the offseason?
Bellinger returns. Like, sign a trade for some relief pitcher, and then like, I won't say Peralta because that'd be too high of shooting, but maybe they'll sign like Chris Bassett and Giolito or something. But I think they'll get a little more pitching and like bring back Bellinger, maybe a sneak a bench piece somewhere, like a righty bench bat. Nothing too crazy, but we'll see how it all comes together.
Who do you think survives? Spencer Jones or Dominguez? I don't think both survive.
I would say Dominguez maybe.
And you think they trade Jones?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll definitely have to see. And what about, how do you feel about the World Baseball Classic? Are you excited about it? Are you into it?
Yeah, I definitely am with the work for World Baseball Network that I do for sure. So I'm really excited for the Classic.
Yeah, it looks like Team USA has a strong roster this year. I mean, I'm looking forward.
Yeah, they should win it, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked to me, it looks like they should be the favorite. I mean, you never know. Team Japan, of course, are the reigning champions, but I'm looking forward to it too. I can't wait.
All right, Julian, we always ask this question as like a last question before you go. All of our guests, I should say. If you were named commissioner today of Major League Baseball, what changes would you make to the game?
Well, I would get rid of the Ghost Runner, probably, for sure. And then, like, I don't want keeping the DH the same way. I would probably, like, change some of the schedule back, like, mix it up in between more exhibition games and still playing everyone or something like that. Definitely like expand the fix the situation in Tampa Bay and all that good stuff. And then like obviously make a salary cap floor as well. So that's a few stuff.
Yeah, that's mostly the same. The ghost runner is our number one answer. But anyway, listen, Julian, we want to thank you for coming on for a segment. We really appreciate it. And we enjoy reading your stuff.
Yeah, definitely give him a follow on Twitter, on X, on Instagram, everywhere, on YouTube. Definitely give him because he's an excellent follow for baseball, baseball fans, not just Yankee fans. But if you're a Yankee fan, yeah, it gives you great coverage as well. But thank you again, Julian, man. I appreciate it, man. You're awesome.
Thanks. We appreciate it. Take care.
All right, bro.
All right, Chris. Do you have great question, guys? Should do a whole show on that question. Yeah.
Yes, we could. You know why? Because a lot of people have different opinions on it, right? So, and as we could see, I think everybody's choice first off, is that getting rid of the Ghost Runner, I think.
Hey, Armand, you listen. You have some ideas. You could come on the show.
Yeah,
if
I
you
would love.
want. You
Yeah, I
just
would love to hear those. I would love to hear those ideas if you have, to change the game at all.
and how you? Hey, Ben from Swing and a Miss. How are you?
What's up, Ben?
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, listen, I have to get to something really quick. Chris, could you put up those pictures that I gave you?
Yep.
Okay, listen. All right, guys. These are former Met superstar, former Met Hall of Famer in the Mets Hall of Fame. His number was retired. Number 36, Jerry Koosman, is looking to sell his 1969 World Championship ring and his 1973 National League Championship ring. So we said we would mention it here, plus a whole bunch of other stuff, balls, autographs, game use stuff, a whole bunch of stuff which you could see on YouTube. So if you're a Met fan, especially from 69, the 70s, Jerry always had to compete with Tom, right? But Jerry Koosman was great, and he's looking to sell some of his stuff now. So if anyone's interested, they could check it out on eBay under Jerry Koosman's name. And the rings, you just notify us, and we would notify. We'd get in touch with the people who are handling this. But I told them that I would give this a mention. So look, I mean, those are now the rings when you win the World Series, they look a lot different, right, Chris?
Yeah, that they are a lot different than they are now, without a doubt.
But look at this. 1969 World Championship ring from Jerry Koosman, and his 73 when the Mets won the pennant ring. Great stuff if you could afford that. But like I said, I said I would mention it, so I just wanted to put it on. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, no problem. Listen, and yeah, check it out on eBay as well. Not the rings, but all of his other collection that he has up there. If you're a Mets fan at all, Jerry Koosman, it's all up there. It's some really cool stuff that you're not going to find anywhere else. So, and it's all legit, obviously, because it's coming from him personally. So definitely check it out. And obviously the rings, that's a huge item. That's not for, the average fan, but
yeah,
if you have the means, definitely check it out for sure.
That's for sure. And Armand, yeah, definitely we will set something up, because we'd love to have you on. Your comments are always great out there. We love them. So definitely we would love to have you come on.
Just reach out to us, on Twitter or whatever, and we'll try to set it up. Listen, it as well as anybody else when we come on, right? We're on Mondays at 3 usually, and Fridays we usually come on at 9, but we couldn't do it tomorrow night. So we're coming on today on Thursday, but normally it's Mondays and Fridays. But us, we're flexible. We could always kind of set other dates up for other shows, like the Swing and Miss podcast. We're trying to talk the guy Ben who just checked in. We're trying to set up a date with those guys. There are 4 guys, 4 different teams, so which is great to have those guys on, before spring training starts or during spring training, just to kind of get a feel for some other teams. So we always love talking about other teams as well on top of our team. So everybody,
we've had people, someone on for the Toronto Blue Jays, the Cincinnati Reds,
yep.
The Orioles, a lot of people, different people come on. And definitely, Ben, we'd love to have you on too. No doubt about it.
We connected just a few minutes before we came on the show. We kind of connected through Facebook. So, but we'll definitely keep in touch, and we'll set something up for sure.
Yeah, definitely. But as spring training gets here, we want to get some fans on from different teams. We have ex-major leaguers coming on. I'm booking a lot of people. People people are interested in coming on this show, which is great. And you guys out there are part of it because they see your comments, and when they're on, they feel comfortable and they tell other guys. So we have a bunch of ex-players coming on. We have media people. So we also want to have some fans, right, Chris?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We're always open to fans coming on, without a doubt. Here, I'm gonna post it real quick. The eBay page for the Koosman stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
Not the rings, but this is actually, go to Superior Collectibles LLC. That's who's doing the sales for Koosman for his collection. And you could see it right here, Jerry Koosman collection. Just click on that. And then you could see all the cool stuff that's up here. It's stuff that you're not going to get anywhere else. And they're legit because they're coming right from Jerry Koosman. So definitely check it out. You could just see,
yeah.
Like I said, if you're a Mets fan and if you know Jerry Koosman, and obviously you do, this is the stuff right here. You're getting his personal game used glove. Obviously that's a lot of money, but still, if you got the means, right, that'd be kind of cool to get. So 15 strikeout ball from his days with the Twins against the Royals. So it's got a little bit of everything here.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. He's got game played uniforms, baseballs. He's got a lot of stuff. So check it out. Listen, he's one of the greatest pitchers in New York Mets history, and his number was retired by the New York Mets. So if you're interested, definitely check that out.
Superior Collectibles LLC on eBay. Check it out.
Yeah. And I just wanted we're winding down. Once again, this hour went by so fast, Chris.
It always does. It always does.
I know. But we have some guests coming up. I just want to mention them so people are ready. We love when former major leaguers come on the show because they have the best stories, right, Chris?
Yeah, they have stories that are, directly from the field. You're hearing it directly from the players. So to have a former player, even if it's an older guy who maybe some of us haven't heard of, I think it's great to hear from them because they were former players. So just like Acquisto, right? John D. Acquisto. Yes. The guy's got great stories, and just reading his book. Rob has been reading his book, and he's telling me the stories. They're just unbelievable. Like interactions with the greatest players, right? On our show, he told us about interacting with Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. Those guys are the Mount Rushmore type players. So
yeah, and Dan asked I'm sorry, Chris. I want to get this before I forget this. Dan asked us, but it was right when the show ended and we couldn't get the question to John. He wanted to know what John thought about Bob Gibson. Dan, when he comes back on, wait till you hear his story because there is a story with Bob Gibson that I read in the book. It'll blow your mind. So you ask that question when he comes back on because I'm going to discuss the book. I'm almost done with the book. We're going to discuss the book with him and we will ask him about Bob Gibson. So you had a great question because he does have a great story about Bob Gibson. So that'll be coming up. We also have in future shows, we have former Yankee pitcher, Native American Gene Locklear, the Chief. He played for the Yankees in 76 and 77 on those great teams, right? Thurman Munson, Chris, Nettles, Reggie. Just amazing. He's going to come on the show to talk about his book. Next Friday night at 9 p.m., we have former Met Pete Falcone's coming on, and he's going to talk about his upcoming book. So we have a bunch of guests coming on, Chris.
All right. So I can't wait. And you know what? I'm on in a couple of weeks. We'll have you on, right? I'd rather have you on, by yourself instead of with a guest because it'll be mostly about the guest. So we want to have you on and we could all, interact with each other. I think that'll be a lot better. And also with the, with Ben as well from the Swing and Miss podcast. We're going to have those guys on soon. and that'll be great because we could talk about other, bunch of other teams. So that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Next couple of weeks are going to be fun with a lot of different guests, and then you know what, the season's going to start. It's crazy, but we're really that close. We're really close to the season starting, and I can't wait. As much as we haven't done much, especially the Yankees, but I'm still excited, and I know both teams are going to be in it without a doubt. And we're not done. We're going to still see stuff happening, right? I think the Kyle Tucker thing is going to happen real soon. I think by the time we come on again, we'll know where Kyle Tucker is going to be, and then probably we'll know where Bellinger is going soon after that. So
definitely. So remember, guys, we're not going to be on tomorrow night. We're off Friday night. We'll be back Monday at 3 p.m. And next Friday, a week from tomorrow, we'll have Pete Falcone. So if you have any questions, he pitched for the Mets, he pitched for the Giants, he pitched for the Braves. Just, let us know if you have any questions for him. He'll be on. He's going to talk about his upcoming book. Any predictions?
We were talking about it. Listen, I think if Toronto is offering him, the 10-year deal for, let's say, $400 million, I think that's where he's going to end up, right? I mean, unless he wants to go somewhere else for a shorter period of time, like the Mets are offering him 4 years for $200 million. Does he go there and try to get back into free agency? I don't know if he'll make up that $200 million he's losing, but we'll see.
All right. So listen, we had another pretty huge audience today for a Thursday afternoon, Chris.
Yeah.
And we appreciate everybody being out there. And we will see everybody Monday at 3 p.m. Unless something happens and we got to pop on. Yeah. I might pop on because Chris is going to be away. So if anything happens, I might pop on really quick, but we'll see what happens. But if not, we'll see you Monday.